Oh my goodness. So welcome back to the Her Hoop Stats podcast right here on the Her Hoop Stats podcast network. I am Christy Winter Scott, joined this time again by my girl, Cindy Brunson, baby. Welcome back to the chat.
Hello. Oh, when you say welcome, I get goosebumps. Like I am so excited to talk to you again.
Man, there's so much going on, Cindy, man. All these hoops, all these crazy games, and across the board, okay, there have been some phenomenal teams that have emerged as of late. And I got to start with the Kentucky Wildcats. Kenny Brooks has his team throwing that boat at 6-0. What say you about how effective and efficient they have started the season?
Well, who had that on their bingo card, right? There was so much talk about other teams like Duke that has just completely fallen off a cliff and has got to find its offense. And here comes Kentucky just doing what Kenny Brooks teams do, right? Very efficient and effective on offense, dig in on defense, little trap, little press. Sometimes it's 2-2-1, sometimes it's 1-2-2, sometimes it's zone matchup, whatever. It's all effective. And we're about to find out how good Kentucky is Saturday, huge matchup against, or is it Friday, the 20th, whatever day that is.
That is Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday. Okay. Yep. See how, you can tell I'm a little off, right? It's raining in Arizona and it rarely rains in Arizona. So, I didn't bother doing the hair because what's the point? The silk press is not going to last. So all curled all the time. And it jams up my ability to know what day of the week it is as well, because the sun is not shining and it's freaking me out. But yes, to your point, Thursday is the day. Louisville has shown in spurts what it is all about. So and it's a rivalry, right? Kentucky and Louisville don't like each other, period, point blank. So I think we're going to learn a lot about this undefeated Wildcats team.
Yeah, no question about it. And no worries about, not knowing the day because it's daytime or nighttime for me. I don't know like the number of the day. I don't know Monday, Thursday, Friday. We don't know. We just keep it moving, right?
Right? It's just when's the next game. Like I know I work again on Friday. So that Friday to me is important, right?
Hi. So. Hello. Yes. And I wouldn't be doing my job as the producer extraordinaire that you both call me if I didn't let you know that Louisville, Kentucky game is on Saturday. So you have it right to begin with.
So I was right. I was right. Thank
you. Said the 20th. You said the 20th. Messed me up. You said the 20th. That's the 20th.
Well, that's just it. I had the wrong day number, but I had the correct day of the week. So
we're good.
When I go wrong, I go all the way wrong. Like I can't I want a partial credit kind of situation. It's a nightmare.
0.5. Yeah. 0.5. That's my pictures of me 5 in my forehead is like anyway, and they have a time with it and make stickers out of it. And anyway, but yes, that is going to be an enormous game for sure with levels and layers to it. But you're looking at Clara Strack and what she's been able to do. 5 double-doubles in the 6 games that they have played. But she has been a phenom on the glass, just under 13 rebounds for her per contest.
Right.
What has it been about her presence with her 3 blocks a game as well on the defensive side? But what else has it been for her to be able to lead the Kentucky Wildcats in the way that she's been able to do?
Well, she's giving dominant paint play like we've seen from the likes of big time names, Aaliyah Boston, Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, these folks that have a knack for rebounding the basketball, being in the right position defensively and just doing what their team needs and with a workman quality, and she's a player that you watch and all of a sudden, boom, shoot, she's flirting with a double-double and we still have 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. What? How did that happen? So, I think she's such a good glue person, and she is a defender and a half, right, on the help defense as well. So, certainly a big part of the reason why Kentucky is having a ton of success.
Right, and you're looking at how Kenny Brooks has been able to just be a savant over the course of his really solid coaching career, first at James Madison University, where he just won championship after championship, and then carrying Virginia Tech to a Final Four just a couple seasons ago. And then now at Kentucky. I mean, you're looking at a top 25 team again this season. What do you see moving forward outside of the non-conference portion of the season that we're almost finished with here, but in the SEC? What do you see from Kenny Brooks and what he's going to be able to materialize and produce for the team as they move into conference play here soon?
Well, that's when we're going to see the rubber hit the road, right? SEC is one of the toughest conferences in the country, if not the toughest.
Right.
Projected to send, 13 teams to the NCAA tournament at this juncture. By the way, buy your tickets for Phoenix right now. Thank you. Here's the situation. Are they good enough to go toe-to-toe with all of the athleticism, right, that they're going to see in Tennessee, in South Carolina? That's what you have to prepare for. In LSU, all of these, Texas, Oklahoma, all of these teams can get up, get down, shoot the three, and defend like their life depends on it. And so that's when we'll know how good Kentucky can be. We'll learn their ceiling relatively quickly as the SEC season gets underway.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And, Georgia Amore, who everyone knows as the extension of Kenny Brooks on the court at Virginia Tech when they did have their deep run to the Final Four. And he went and kept her in lockstep with him at Kentucky as his point guard, PG1 there. But unfortunately got injured here in DC with the Washington Mystics right out of the gates, and the practices didn't even get on the court for a game. But she recently came in and shadowed during the Wizards pre and post game shows with Wes Hall. She was shadowing him. Okay. But the question that Georgia Amore asked in the conference room, or sitting and watching NBA basketball, I mean, she just sees the game on a different level. And just to see those seedlings, Cyndia, what does that mean for Kenny Brooks in terms of his tutelage and his expressive way to teach the game and how he taught it to Georgia Amore as the PG1 for him for so many years?
Well, I think Georgia brings so much to the table already, right? She's curious. She wants to get better by the dribble. Those two factors are just a perfect match for a head coach like Kenny Brooks, who fosters leadership and empowerment, right? He doesn't do a lot of game control from the sideline. He lets the point guard run the show. And Georgia, when I listen to her in interviews, and particularly, I hear Sue Bird just over and over and over again. Just that smart, savvy, do the right thing, make the right play, make the right read, and not hunting for just the good play, but the great play. And just like Sue, sneaky effective with the basketball when it comes to shooting. She knows he's an option. She doesn't always call her number, but she knows he's an option if it's the great play.
Absolutely. I mean, she averaged just under 17 a game in terms of her point production, but also just under 7 assists at Kentucky. But, to your point, to have a solid point guard as a coach, I mean, you have to be in lockstep. You have to have that trust that point guard is going to run the show with the we ahead of the me. And I think Georgia Amore is a terrific example of that. But
to your point on Georgia, just really quick, I'm wearing the Arizona gear, as you can tell.
Let me see.
Because, got the little A, got the little Zona, the cactus, and all of the things. The sun is shining on my shirt, not in the sky. That's outside. What's happening. But the situation in Tucson with a PG1, you might not have heard of Lonnie Cornfield, transfer from Buffalo, leading the nation in assists per game, 10.3.
I love that.
Yeah. So in that vein of Georgia Amore, of what she did at Va-Tech, this point guard is special. She is a pass-first point guard, but she's got a nice little mid-range. I think if she improves on her three-point shooting, she can get on some WNBA draft boards. She's got speed, something that you cannot teach. So that is also helpful. A little undersized, a little slight in build, but lightning fast. So, big part of the reason why Arizona has had success out of the gate. And I want to shout out head coach Becky Burke, who's 3-0, and her general manager, Michelle Marciniak, the legend from Tennessee, who is helping Becky Burke build, hooked Joan Bomassini, my analyst, and I up with a bunch of swag. Like, I don't have to change clothes for, 10 days. I can wear Arizona stuff every single day. But they understand, like, getting the message out and getting the word out. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to give Lonnie her flowers, man. She's getting it done. It's only a handful of games so far in the season, but she is finding a multitude of players on that roster and putting them in a position to succeed.
I love that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Marciniak was the player that Pat Summitt said, I am not having my son Tyler in the airspace until I cross the airspace from Virginia back into Tennessee. And she held on. And I Jordan in the car. So I understand what kind of mental fortitude that took. But that's Marciniak, right?
Yes, that is. Okay. Help Pat to that championship. Yep.
And she got her too. So I love that. But no, I mean, it's an invaluable asset to have players like that running the point guard. And, there's so much talk these days about everybody being kind of a hybrid wing. And there's no centers and there's no point guards. I don't buy it, right? Someone's got to be
I don't either.
Out there. I'm still holding 10 toes to the fire and brimstone of point guards are very necessary. I don't care.
100%.
Like, I understand that everyone can be the unicorn, wing that can shoot the 3 and D and do all the things. But I still think that coaches still want the solidification of how things are organized on both sides of the ball, right? Because they're the point of attack on defense too. So don't sleep on that. But I think point guards are still here. Like, let's not write off our point guards.
No, not at all. Even if they come in the form of point forwards, right? Like we see with the Mercury, you still have to have a head of the snake, somebody that's going to be the person that the offense starts with, not necessarily the fulcrum that it runs through, but definitely this is what a point guard is, whether it's point forward, point guard. But I totally agree with you. Yeah. And it's so vital. And we see it so much in women's basketball and not as much in men's basketball. I feel like the position is kind of disappearing, and that's sad. And and I think it's part of the reason why sometimes you tune into a men's game, whether it's college or pro, and everything seems disorganized. Well, hello, if you don't have your conductor, your coach on the floor, the conduit that the head coaches use to talk to the team, that's a problem.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, I agree. I mean, I for one, I'm an advocate for all the point guards. So if you're a point guard, keep doing what you're doing, please, because the game needs you and your smarts. Okay, you dribble to score, not to explore. There's so much over dribbling, it drives me nuts. But that's another story for another day. But if you don't know what you're doing, hey man, after your second dribble, if you don't know, if you're not increasing an angle for a pass, or trying to get a shot for you or for someone else, you got to give the ball up, get off the ball, move it, and get to the second or third side. Just move the basketball. Anyway, I could go on and on about that. The tactical side of the game, it always amazes me, and it always keeps me curious. But you're talking about the SEC, right? And you did mention South Carolina. Now, South Carolina had a battle with the other USC in Southern Cal most recently. In that game, what did you see from South Carolina in order for them to come out on top?
Hey, let's shout out another point guard, Raven Johnson. How many iterations of Raven Johnson have we seen over the last handful of years?
A billion.
This young woman is so special. Just the intangible she brings to the table. And if you don't appreciate what Raven Johnson does for Dawn Staley in South Carolina, then I'm sorry, you don't understand basketball and what is supposed to happen in the 94 feet and 50 feet wide. Like, you just don't get it. She truly is the straw that stirs the drink. She is the toughness muscle, even though she's one of the smallest people on the floor. She gets in everybody's shorts. This is South Carolina basketball. This is how we do it. Get on board or get out of the way. And I absolutely love that for her.
Yeah, no, I love Raven. She's a flat out dog. And the thing about her that amazes me the most, after they lost in the championship game a couple seasons ago, she said very candidly and really displayed all of her vulnerability and said, you know what, I was considering not playing basketball anymore. And I was like mesmerized by that because I know how much she loves the game. I know that kid a little bit, not a lot, but I know her enough to know that was a huge, probably mental hurdle for her to get over because her threes weren't falling. They were drop coverage on her when they were in that Iowa game. But she took it to heart and she said, okay, I can, press into this or step away from it. And she decided to press into it and then got the championship the next season. And Dawn Staley also said she was going to step away from coaching after they lost that game. So that was like a huge momentum swing mentally for both Dawn Staley and Raven Johnson in that vein, because success is very nice, right? But I will tell you what, losing is the best teacher in terms of testing where you are in your heart and soul, right? And what the game means to you, right? And neither one of them can put it down. I mean, sometimes it's tempting to have that inner voice saying, you know what, man, maybe this isn't for me. Like, oh my God, like I can't believe we went all that way to just get right there instead of doing what we came there to do. And for both of them to kind of say, you know what, let me pick myself up by the bootstraps and get this thing back activated and then go back and win it. So for me, Raven took the example from Dawn Staley, I'm sure, right? To continue to journey on and carry on and row that boat and get another natty. I mean, they have a litany of injuries as well, but for them to be able to have a leader like that who is experienced in maybe wanting to drop the rope, right? But not drop the rope and pick it up and actually pull it. For me, that's always going to stand out for me for Raven Johnson in terms of her mental fortitude, her soul compass, and everything that it's going to take for her to continue to be a great human. Everyone talks about basketball all the time. I'm like, do you know what a character test that must have been for both of them? To say, hey, I don't know if this is for me, and almost deciding to like step away and then stand in that space of the muddy, murky mental challenges and survive it. I mean, that's to me,
not to survive, thrive, right? Because Raven said, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Let me get back in the lab. Let me work on this 3-ball. I dare you to go under now on Raven Johnson. Like you can't. So she put in the work, and what better person to have holding the rope with you than another elite point guard in Dawn Staley. Like,
Period, point blank. Yeah. You go under on the screens. That's, there's no card note on that. That's straight cash. So I love the fact that she is back and better than ever. But in that USC game, I mean, we've seen some things from the other USC and Southern Cal, and Jazzy Davidson. Oh my God, she has been really fun to watch.
Yes, I think there's a ton of potential, but unlike Juju Watkins, when she hit the scene as a freshman, we can see Jazzy is still figuring things out.
Yes.
Juju came to campus as the complete package. Like it was just, woo, she is top of the scout and ready to go. And Jazzy is still, she's kind of got that deer in the headlights deal at times, sometimes a little awkward, almost looks like a baby deer, out there.
In what way?
Yeah. Well, just like when she recognizes, you can see the light bulb turn on her head. She'll run to one block and realize, oh no, I'm supposed to be on the other block right now. You can like literally see her thinking the game. And then that gets her a little awkward. But that's just being a freshman, right? And a freshman with all of the spotlight and all of the heat and pressure because Juju is not playing, that she's supposed to be the next thing, right? When you come in as the number one recruit in the nation to the school that has all of a sudden taken off in USC, people start saying your name in the same sentence as Cheryl Miller and Lisa Leslie. Like that is a lot. So I think she's handling it with grace, but she just needs time. That whole USC offense needs time. They have lost so much in the transfer portal and to injury. They're still trying to figure it out. But I think once they get into Big Ten play, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Lindsay Gottlieb is a master at getting them organized in terms of what she wants from them to be able to star in their roles and respectively down the line on the roster. But what I'd like to see most is Juju Watkins in the ear of Jazzy, right? And in timeouts, like, listen, hey girl, hey, this is what you do. When you see this, this is how you respond. This is the counter. When they take this away, this is what you need to consider, right? So I love the teaching, and sitting on the sidelines, that's a great teacher as well. But the integrity behind the words that Juju is sharing to Jazzy, I think is really beautiful to watch. And that's going to make Juju better next year. But that's also going to make the two of them, so dynamically great next season because they're on the same line. The mental synergy between the two of them is evident now with Juju not even being on the court. So I think it's going to be really a testimony for both of them, to say, hey, I wasn't out there, but I was watching and we were in lockstep mentally on a lot of different actions on the floor. So I think that has been the beauty of USC so far. And I know Jazzy's going to get it. And I know, when you have kids, you give them a box of crayons and a coloring book or whatever, and then color outside the lines initially, right? Because there's just all the colors. It's so fun. And then all the things. And then after a while, it's like, let me see what happens when I color within the lines, right? There's a little more control to the beauty. And I think that's what we're going to see from a lot of freshmen across the board. I mean, they are learning on the fly, and the game is the best teacher. The practices, you get the reps and everything like that. And those are the quizzes. But the true come when the game day is there. So I think you're going to continue to see steady improvement with the consistency across the board for Jazzy and all the freshmen right now across the country. But I think there does have to be some grace also in the eyes of watching these freshmen, grow up and shrink the errors outside the lines and get in the lines there with the coloring of it all. But I think it's really a joy to watch that evolve and transpire in front of our eyes. So I'm not worried whatsoever about what USC on the West Coast USC is going to look like moving forward, not just non-conference, but in Big Ten play as well.
I tell you what, since we're on Big Ten, can we applaud Michigan and how it is coloring inside the lines?
Go.
Like nobody expected. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. Wolverines with a huge test this weekend. I cannot wait to see how that team performs against UConn.
Yeah. I mean, how about Michigan and Kim Barnes-Rico? Blessings and prayers to her because, she recently lost her father. But her team just days later goes out and takes full command of the court. I mean, when you look at this team, I mean, they had some dynamic freshmen. We knew that coming in last year, but their experience and their minutes on the floor last year, that has really poured into this season in terms of their confidence level, but also their just staunch production that they've been able to do. And not just offensively, Cindy, but what about Michigan's defense? No one talks about
defense is the most impressive part of the team. Like if you can take Hannah Hidalgo and the offensive machine that she is and hold her in check and make her visibly uncomfortable. I had never seen that before from Hannah Hidalgo. She was just like, oh my God, here comes another wave of defense. Here comes two more defenders. Here comes another trap. I just spun out of this. Here's another wall. Like it was intense and awesome to see unfold. And so I'm very curious how that defense is going to look against the like of AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong. I just, and now UConn, continues to roll out, one more piece of a beautiful offensive puzzle. Like what weapon is Gino going to rely on to jam up Michigan? I mean, I cannot wait. The popcorn cannot pop fast enough for this game.
No doubt. I mean, you're looking at this Michigan team. I mean, they have just been masterful on the defensive side, not just this year. I mean, that's just something that I think that's been understated for Kim Barnes-Rico and her teams for years, right? Everyone talks about the offense, or maybe they have a couple of dynamic scores, but let's not understate the fact that this team can lock in on the defensive side and they can be disciplined in their gap coverages and rotations. They're on time in every single rotation. As much as you try to get them in pick and rolls and try to set up cross matches and all these things, it doesn't matter for Michigan's defense because they are on point every single time and they take pride in that. Right. And when you have a team, Cindy, that takes pride in locking down not just players like Hannah Hidalgo, which they did an outstanding, spectacular job with, and no shade to Hannah Hidalgo. She kept trying. It wasn't like she went 1 for 5. Like she shot 19 times. Like, she was continuing to chop wood, but it just was not manufacturing or producing offense. So it wasn't that, I'm going to stop trying. Hannah was going for it. But give credit where credit is due on the defensive end. And it wasn't just a primary defensive job that was done by Michigan. It was like a unified attack on a string, everybody moving and rotating to the basketball, every single defensive possession. So if Kim Barnes-Arico can do that defensively moving forward, what does that say for the success of their team, whether or not shots are falling on the other side?
It tells me that everybody in Ann Arbor better check flights to Phoenix, not purchase necessarily, but just check, see what's available first week of April, because we know at the end of the day, defense wins championships, right? You have, not only do you have to score the basketball, but you got to stop the other team. And everybody is ready to anoint UConn with another back-to-back chip, but the schedule says, wait a minute, maybe not. Maybe Michigan can hand them that first loss, and then maybe they meet again in the tournament before the Final Four. Like this, there's 2 games ahead for Michigan, right? They get UConn, and then following that, Syracuse. So it's how do you get up for UConn and all the circus vibe that entails, and then bring just a couple days later, boom, you got Syracuse, another tough opponent. What does that look like for Kim Barnes-Arico? I think the next couple of games, we're going to learn so much about the Wolverines.
Yeah, no question about it. And then let's not forget that at Syracuse, Layla Filia is now at Syracuse, who left Michigan to go in the portal, go to Texas, didn't quite get the minutes there at Texas that she thought maybe she should, transfer to Syracuse. So there's like a game within the game there. And I'm love and respect across the board, no question. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but I do know that the transfer portal is portaling. I mean, that's just a weird, it's just what's happening these days. But there is that factor when they do that with Syracuse. But backtrack that. Let's talk about that UConn matchup a little bit. And what have you seen from UConn so far? I mean, Sarah Strong has just been a Swiss Army knife with everything she's been able to do. Gino Auriemma has said that she is like Nikola Jokic on the NBA level with the Denver Nuggets, with her versatility, her size, her speed, her ability to initiate in the open floor. But she's coming off of a 29-point performance yet again. I mean, she's just seamless, and she just stays steady like a duck on the water there, feet working underneath, but on top, she is stoic, and nobody's going to disrupt her.
Let me say this. 19 years old.
She's
19. She's just a baby. What impresses me so much about her game is that she is calm. You would never know that she is one of the best players in the country, vying for Player of the Year on a team that's supposed to cut down the nets in April. Like you just, nothing speeds her up. Nothing takes her out of her game or off her spot or out of her defensive rotation.
Right.
Nothing phases this young woman. And to me, that's the most impressive. And especially for a team like UConn. I'll never forget when they pulled through the old Pac-12 and they were at Cal. And it was Lindsay Gottlieb. This is how long it was ago. Lindsay Gottlieb was coaching at Cal. And it was literally like the circus was coming to town because UConn and all of the things that UConn was at that time, you know, chasing 4-peats and all of the things. It was before the drought, right? Before they went from 16 to 25 without winning. And literally filled Haas Pavilion because it was UConn women's basketball, like that kind of power. And so to play under that mantle, you go there because you want all of that, right? You're not shy about it. You want to be the person to be the first to four-peat since Stewie did it, or to get 3 like Diana. You know what I mean? That's why you go there. So to do that, have that intestinal fortitude, and then to just be so glacially cool in the execution. Oh my goodness. It's just, I just sit in awe, absolute awe. She has the composure of somebody that's played in the WNBA and won several chips and MVPs for years. It's really incredible.
Yeah. And I think people have said, I look at some comments from fans and things, and someone, I don't know who the writer was, so forgive me for not remembering, but I saw someone say after her last game that if she went into the draft in the WNBA in next year's draft, she would go in the first round. Like, that's just how
100%
consistent.
She might mess around and be the top pick. Like,
I mean, to be honest. And she's got, this year she hasn't even gotten halfway through her second season out on the collegiate level yet, but she's already pro ready. And I think that is the beauty of Sarah Strong's game, is that she can come in and be at the top of the list for every opponent in terms of the defensive schematics that she's going to see. And she's probably seen every single read. But when you're looking at the ability for her to see that and then checkmate you every single game, that for me stands out. For a player to be an elite level player, you have to be consistently excellent. And that's what Sarah Strong has been.
Yeah. And I'm very curious because Kim Barnes-Arico is going to have a defensive game plan built to not necessarily stop, but definitely slow down Sarah and slow down AZ. And I cannot wait to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, and this is just from watching Michigan for years now with Kim Barnes-Arico. I just think that there's going to be some early pickup points. There's going to be get the basketball out of Sarah Strong's hands. KK Arnold is the point guard, right? But there are times where Sarah Strong gets the rebound or gets a live ball steal, and she's the initiator.
And she's gone. She's gone.
So maybe Michigan, when that happens, maybe there's a soft blitz to her, a blitz and rotate, where she has to give the ball up. Now, for Sarah Strong, she can see over top of some of those guards for Michigan, right? Silo Swords, she's, I don't know, what is she, 5'8" or so?
Yeah.
But, I mean, some of the other guards are taller, so, okay. But she might be able to have the vision to get rid of it in those double, take some hard cuts. So I think it's going to be chestnut checkers for sure on both sides of the basketball.
And don't forget the strength to just go, somebody's near the rim, boom. Let me just pass this ball 60 feet.
Yeah.
See ya.
Or turn around and back them down.
Yes.
And big body bends moves and just take them in paint. I'm not mad at that either. But, and we're not even talking about AZ Fudd. How have we not mentioned AZ Fudd? And we're talking about UConn. Like, I mean, there's another one. Another sword in the, whatever you call the little thing you put on the side. What's that
arrow
called?
in the quiver. Arrow in the quiver. I got you.
Good. Period. Okay, what you said. But all that right there's the one that has AZ on it. So she's just another viable offensive threat, obviously. And defensively, she's picked up the pace there on the glass. Gino said, hey, I can't really yell at her anymore for rebounding the basketball because she's doing a better job there as well. So another player who's pro ready, AZ Fudd. What does she mean for this team? Not just with her offensive capabilities and her quick release, quick as a hiccup with that thing. What else has she been able to bring to this iteration of UConn women's basketball?
I think she's so good in the huddle and helping the young player, the freshmen, the transfers. I see her in the ear of Sarah Williams a lot. Just making sure that everybody's on the same page without getting anybody, riled up or having to yell. She's just very cool and calm and collected. And I think that is so critical because she literally has been there, done that with this UConn program. And now it's just finally getting the opportunity for what we hope is a second season in a row, healthily get through a season. So I think he's just so appreciative of what her body can do when healthy, that she's just doing everything she can to help everybody else do it the UConn way, because nobody knows what Gino wants better than AZ.
No doubt. And, her parents, Tim and Katie, were at the last game last week, and Katie had that shirt on, FUD around and find out, I think that still holds true.
That's marketing genius. Oh,
you said what?
That's marketing genius.
Oh, yeah. And then I think they're probably going to print up a new one, because I saw a sign from a fan and it said, "Where the FUD is the function." Anyway, so that's another one. I know.
Okay.
I enjoyed that one. So that could be another one. So Katie, if you're listening, go ahead and run that through the printer, put it on the t-shirt, and send
it. Take my money. Take all my money.
Anyway, but no, I just think you're right about about AZ FUD and her ability to impact the game in so many different ways as a leader. And Sarah Williams, coming in as a transfer from Wisconsin, where she was Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year back in 2024, but also led the Big Ten in block shots. That's just another solid defender on the interior to take some pressure defensively off of Sarah Strong on the inside. They don't have like a ton of size in there, but they have players who have experience and have won Defensive Player of the Year in tough conferences like Sarah Williams has done. What do you see from Sarah Williams, and Sarah Strong, and how they complement one another in there?
Rim protection for days on end. I love the way Sarah Williams will block a shot. She does it much like A'ja Wilson does, kind of volleyball style. She doesn't have to be on the opponent. She can be a step and a half back and jump up and get that shot. It's so impressive, and it keeps her out of foul trouble. I absolutely love it. But to your point, Sarah's not on an island anymore, right?
No.
She's got help around the rim to go chase rebounds. Because Gino, I can hear him in my head all the time. Rebounds are possessions. If you're not going to rebound, then you don't want the basketball. You don't want to shoot because it's a possession. So go get the possession. So it helps in the rebounding and definitely the rim protection. You're going to think once about going on the strong side where Sarah is, and then on the weak side where the other Sarah lives, you're also going to think. So it creates a wonderful conundrum for UConn for opposing offenses.
I love how you said Sarah Strong is on the strong side. Yeah. Sorry, I just, in my head, that's where I went. And I had an inner giggle. So I had to just add that so everyone else can have a little giggle as well. But no, I love it. But, that weak side is very strong as well with Sarah Williams over there on the help side. So very Wimby-esque with her ability to block shots like that, like I described so very well. So that's just going to be something to continue to watch for UConn. And again, we're talking about Michigan's defense, and let's not forget about UConn's defense. That's why that game and that matchup is going to be so intriguingly excellent for those of us who love the game so much. So that's going to be an awesome matchup. What other matchups are you looking forward to coming up on the slate in women's basketball?
I am very curious to see Iowa State continue to hoop. Big 12, always lead in attendance, right? Iowa State Cyclones just understand the assignment. When they flirt with 10,000 a game, that is just like amazing. Yay, you guys, But I think all of those fans are appreciating this iteration of the team. And, Crooks, Brown, Williams, it looks really nice on paper so far. I'm not to the point where I'm saying, hey, check flights to Phoenix, but I'm getting close. I want to see how they do in Big 12 play, but so far in non-con, Iowa State really has my attention.
Yeah, the big three that you just spoke of, right? When you're looking at those big three, what do they need to do when they get into the Big 12 portion of the season? What do you want to see from them to be able to maybe stamp a ticket to Arizona there for the Final Four?
I just want to see more consistency. I feel like we've seen a little up and down in the non-conference. I know the matchups have been tough and all of that strategically sometimes. But I just want to see more consistency and better 3-point shooting, better consistency from 3, because that'll just open up everything in the middle for Addie and Audie.
Yeah, I mean, when you see Audie in there, I mean, with those 43 points in 20 minutes, I was like, first of all, how? First of all, how? Second of all, how? Third of all, like what?
Because she's not shooting the 3, right? Yeah. Like she's working. That's and one. That's and one. Yeah.
The one-legged midi was it for me at the nail. But I mean, with her ability to operate that effectively in that short amount of time in that particular game, let's just dissect how she was able to do that and what our team's going to do to counter that when they see her out there just doing what she does so excellently well.
You can't let her get the ball. The defense has to start with the pass, right? Because she's not bringing the ball up herself. So you have to be intent and intentional about stopping that pass, getting to her. The problem is when they load the strong side and Jada is there and Addie is in the corner, she can shoot that corner shot beautifully and she can stretch it out or pull it in for a mid-range jumper. So then it's like, how do you defend that? Then it's pick your poison. And then that's how the pass gets into Crooks. But the big thing is stopping the pass from even getting into Crooks.
Yeah, easier said than done, because I'm going to tell you what, Jada's on, she's on Dance with the Stars with that thing as a yo-yo. Got eyes in the back of her head, very Chelsea Gray-esque, with her ability to
put this out there. She wants to go to Kelsey Plum's dog camp. She's been playing her best. She tried to get some notice at Arizona. This is why she transferred to the bigger stage at Iowa State to get closer to home as well. But she is a dog, DAWG, and KP needs to extend that young woman an invite to that camp.
Yeah, we got to tap that shoulder, Kelsey, listening. Hey, man.
Yeah.
That invite. But she's earned it, right? She's earned it.
Yes.
And I just think that she just creates just chaos for opponents with her ability to attack gaps. And not just that, it's like she sees 3 plays ahead, right? If she initiates at the elbow, she knows that 2 other things behind that are going to happen. And then she makes the play. I mean, she is just so smart with the basketball. But what do you see for her moving forward for this team? We were talking about the importance of having steady eddies at the PG1. She's that. But what does she need to continue to do to set the table for this team?
I want to see her dig in more defensively. She is a live ball turnover waiting to happen. And I think so much of her offense flourishes from easy offense, right?
Yeah.
Pick a pocket, score a lay-in. And if you see that from her 2 or 3 times a game, watch out. Put all the chips toward the center of the table in Iowa State, because that means she's doing it on both ends. So she's totally locked in, and it's easy for her. It gets easier on the offensive end when she creates easy offense.
Yeah. And how have you seen the style of play for Iowa State change with the addition of her presence on the court?
It's funny because I really feel like Bill just runs what he wants to do. Like he is the grandfather of the conference, right? Nobody has longer tenure in the Big 12 than he does. And he knows what he wants. He wants wildly amazing 3-point shooting. Like that is the bread and butter. And then from there, everything else happens. Then he runs into a player like Crooks, who's just so post dominant. He's got to, right now I have to adapt because I don't want to give up Crooks. I'm not going to make her shoot the 3. So how can my beautiful offense work around that? And then you get a Swiss Army knife in Addie, who can post up or pull out. So I just love that his offense has stayed true to what it has always been, dominated by the 3, but has beautifully folded in the post presence of Crooks.
No, I love that too. I love Bill Finney. I mean, obviously his resume for itself, but just a great human. And I just love watching him work, right? And to have the addition of a player with the dynamic skill set of Jada Williams, to me has been very intriguing. And I know it's just been a small sample size so far this season, but I've loved team. And I can't wait to see what the Big 12 looks like for them, if they're able to just maintain that foot on the gas pedal mentality and the balance at the threes, but also on the defensive side to get some production on the open floor off live ball.
Yeah, I have to look up when that Iowa State TCU game is.
Oh, yeah. That's gonna be a goodie for sure. That's gonna be a goodie for sure. And I know.
Let me say this: I think New York hasn't hired its coach in the WNBA because they're waiting on Mark Campbell.
Really?
Listen. Why wouldn't the Liberty have hired a coach? I'm just saying. He coached Sabrina at Oregon. He is an offensive genius. He and his assistant coach Chabi, they're good at scouting and recruiting and solidifying talent. Right? This is the second year in a row with pretty much a brand new roster, and here they are wrecking people and laying waste wherever they go. Like this is what the Horned Frogs do because of Mark Campbell. I just cannot help but think in the back of my mind, the Liberty are waiting for him to make his Final Four run, and then they will offer him a contract. Because he's not going to do like Lynn Roberts. He's not going to leave this. It's too special with Olivia Miles and all of the pieces. He's not going to leave this mid-season like Roberts did with Sparks. He'll wait. So I think the Liberty are waiting. They can surprise me and hire somebody else, but that's just, when I can't fall asleep at night, I think, there's New York. There's New York. And they haven't hired a coach. Why not? So
I love that your late night thought bubble is hoops. Like that to me, like just that's a win. Like fair. I love it. Thought bubble at night. Yeah. But for me, staying on that vein, and I know, we're kind of getting into a little WNBA conversation there, but I am not my thought bubble, but not necessarily in the middle of the night, but just like randomly sometimes pops up. Christy Tolliver. She's right there. She's been down there as assistant coach last year, but she played with Cloud Niesemann and who else is there from
JJ. She played with Jonquel Jones.
Yes, and JJ. Yeah. I think did she? Wait, she played with JJ?
Overseas. I think overseas.
Overseas. Okay. I was thinking W. Okay. But she knows those guys, their skill set, their mental makeup. I don't know. And Tolliver, she coached on the NBA level here in DC, also in Dallas. She was here with the Mystics, obviously, for years.
Okay, I love that. Champ. So why hasn't it happened? Like,
we're waiting. I don't know. I'm just saying, New York hasn't decided yet, but I have to think she's on the list.
I would hope so. I would hope she's on the list. I would hope Breon January's on the list. I would hope Teresa Weatherspoon is on the list. Like, the list can be long, but I just find it so curious that they haven't pulled the trigger on anybody.
For sure. I'd like to see the list, though. Can we see? You know what? That's what, BMAC. I think BMAC, we need the fans to chime in to let us know who they feel could be on that short list for the New York Liberty head coaching position coming up. Because, we have our own opinions. And I'm not saying yours is wrong because I'm right on board with that. But also, respect my thought bubble too on that with Christy Tolliver.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that. My only concern is why hasn't that happened? Like
they waiting on.
I get why if you want to hire Mark Campbell, you haven't done that yet because he's busy wrecking the Big 12 and anybody that comes around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So he's got something to do. Christy Tolliver is in the quote unquote off season. So let's make it happen. I would love to see it.
And maybe it is a timing.
Who would hate to see that? Nate Tibbetts would hate to see that because he relies on Tolliver. Trust when I say that out loud.
Artie. She's a savant. We already know that. But maybe it is a timing thing. Maybe they're just letting things play out, and maybe they will wait to the end of the collegiate season. Obviously still ironing out the CBA, and that's another conversation that we could run down the rabbit hole with. But they're still trying to figure out a lot of things. So maybe there's just kind of a waiting period where they're trying to figure out, the foundational pieces of the CBA, and then move forward with all the other things to fill spots at all. So we'll see. what that looks like. But I think I'm intrigued to see what the fans think out there on the Her Hoop Staff podcast website. I want to see what you guys think about that and who you would like to see there. I think there are so many candidates that fit. So I just like to see what it looks like and what the names look like. So I think that's fair to ask.
Yeah, 100%. Especially since it's the only vacancy. So
very true. Very true. Very true. Yeah, that'll be interesting. But okay, I know we're running out a little bit of time here. But anything else you wanted to discuss on this week's edition?
I just want to shout out everybody who keeps showing up to watch women's college basketball, who is excited to follow the players and purchase tickets for the new Plan B situation that a handful of WNBA players have joined. Starting with Neko McKay, Alyssa Thomas, Jonquel Jones, Jewel Lloyd, the list continues to grow. Athletes Unlimited tickets are flying off the shelf for Nashville in February. Our game is in such a good place because of the fans. And we see, ticket sales in college continue to impress. And especially for the high profile programs, they go to these different spots, whether it's Vegas or Barclays or wherever, and fannies are in the seats. And it starts with the fans who are amazing in women's basketball, who take, and I know the economy is dicey and things are tough for a lot of people, but they're still finding a way to find some pennies to buy a ticket, and it matters. And I applaud you.
Yeah, same. Absolutely under that same umbrella with you. And I think it's just been a beautiful thing to watch on all levels. Like soccer is going into the finals on the professional level. That's fun. DC is in that, DC Spirit. So that, again, going back to the championship. And I just love the fact that the support is there. And it's, girl dads buying full on in, right? Daughters to games and moms, of course. But then, former athletes are pouring back into the game by showing their full on respect and support by going back to those arenas and filling seats. So I just think it's a beautiful thing to watch unfold. And I will applaud that until I have zero breath left in my life. It's such a necessary, vital piece of success and respect to show the game that has done so much for so many, and not just X's and O's, but as we were talking about, with South Carolina, with Raven Johnson and Dawn Staley, it's the character and the fortitude and all those things that don't get discussed enough in sports, right? And what levitates you, standing strong on your boundaries and your principles for yourself, right? And how that lifts others around you. I mean, that's what we're really talking about. I mean, we're not talking about pick and roll and presses all the time. It's not all about the tactical thing, but it's the execution and how you do things, not what you're actually doing, but how you do it with grace, with fight, with courage, persistence, and reverence to who came before you. So I just think that is what it's all about at the end of the day. And so for me, that will always be my boundaries. That will always be my landing space. That will always be my foundation, because that's how much it means to me. So I love the fact that, these women across the board in all sports, softball, volleyball, basketball, soccer, everything, they have the opportunity to play now with this level of respect being poured back into them. And some of them may not even realize the leaps and bounds and sacrifices and just dog days of it all for days like this. So for me, it's never lost on me.
And it wasn't that long ago, Christy, to your point. I was in an empty McHale Center in 2014. It hasn't been that long where I could literally hear my voice with a headset on echo in the arena. There were so few fannies in the seats. So to your point, I just appreciate so much the people that fill the arenas and buy the concessions and buy the gear and all of the things, because it just makes my job so much more fun. Because I will talk about women's basketball in the dark with the lights off. I don't need an audience. I don't need to know who's watching, whatever. I will do that. I love it that much, but it is such an absolute joy to do that in an arena full of fans, full of juice and excitement with great play in front of me. It's not, I keep saying it's work, but it's not. Somebody is going to stop paying me because I'm going to go, well, it really doesn't feel like work. And they're going to go, well, fine, don't fill out that W-2 because we're not going to pay you. It's so amazing.
Yeah. Could you in the rain? You said it's raining there. So you said, yes, I could in the rain.
Yes.
I love that so much. But I also love the fact that, I know tush push is in football, but there's been a lot of, you said panties and seats and all that tush push. Sit out in these buildings, man, and get back to the game. But no, I love it. I love it. And, we're right on the precipice of Thanksgiving next week. A lot of tournaments, a lot of hoops going on next week. And I know you said you're thankful for the opportunity to be in those vibes and great moments now in women's sports, but we're just going to end this one with what you're most thankful for. It could be sports, it could be anything else. But just what do you want to give thanks for as we're in this Thanksgiving?
Oh, you're so sweet. First of all, thankful for an amazing friend like you. I cannot wait till we work together again because last Thanksgiving we were together and that was amazing. I'm thankful for a very patient husband who has watched more women's basketball than any non-super fan should. Putting up with me always having a women's game on somewhere in the house.
Right.
I'm thankful for the support of my sister who will join me at anywhere on the earth to watch a women's basketball game. We were at the first We Play over in Paris because I wanted to go. And she's like, all right, let's go. I got my passport. So she's been amazing. And then wonderful friends like yourself. And then my beautiful dog, Jon Snow, who always makes me feel missed when I come home from a road trip. And that just means everything. Oh. So how about for you?
Oh man, you know me. I'm, people think I'm complicated, but it's really not that deep for me. I mean, if you know me just a little bit, first of all, I'm thankful for you. That goes without saying. That's the common denominator. People who I care about, they know I care about them. That's just how it works. There's always going to be a level of respect for that, and I think respect supersedes love in a lot of ways. So for me, I am thankful for respect. I'm thankful that I'm able to show respect to my babies, all three of them. My mom, we sit and have a time at games. I'm thankful for those opportunities with her. My brother, just a touchstone for me at all times. But I'm thankful for, the Lord holding me up in a lot of different ways, and that I'm able to, just realize a lot of dreams in real time. And that always takes me. So, that.
Oh, yeah.
When you pray for things and you see them unfold, and it's not necessarily things for me, but to see your kids like happy, that to me.
And thriving.
That for me will always be my most thankful thing, to see them do what they want to do, but also be happy, with themselves. And for me, I'm so hands off now because they're older, but it's like I'm fly on the wall mom, and it's like it's truly something. And then
you're not fly on the wall, you're mama bear on the wall.
Mama bear, like the Labubu or whatever. That's what I should have done for Halloween next year. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a Labubu on the back. But no, that to me will always be the most special blessing of it all, and to be able to witness that. But for me, just moving forward, I think just thankful and grateful for every single opportunity to be around the game. And I just think of myself as like a 10-year-old playing on the dirt, hoop in the backyard of my house, and the ball hitting that root. And how sweaty and gross I was, but how much I loved just going to get that ball again and shoot it, even if it hit the root again. That's just how much I love it. Regardless of whatever happens, like the game has really just rewarded my heart in so many different ways. So for me, I'm just thankful for the game, and I'm thankful for the people who I've met because of basketball. Like, you know, I was up in New York last night, Cindy, and Andrea Carter was on the college game day desk. And, you know, when she came out of Tennessee in 2016, you know, LaChina Robinson's group, you know, the rising media stars.
I'm an advisor for that group.
She was like, here, you and Andrea would be a great match, you know. So I'm emailing Andrea, you know, and it wasn't like every day or anything like that, but just a couple of times we connected when she was first getting out there. And, you know, and to see her last night, to tell her, like, you are so smart, you are so on it, you are rocking it out, you are crushing it. And to tell her that in her face last night was like, you know, those are the moments I'm thankful for, like the full circle moments within the game for me, like meeting Cheryl Miller, like several times over. But actually, you know, a couple of years ago, I told the story about just finally telling her, listen, I love the fact that you planted a seed of inspiration in me when you did, when I was whatever, elementary school or whatever. And I was watching you in the, like stuff like that, like the full circle stuff, like that stuff I am thankful for the most, and will always treasure what this game has afforded me in terms of experiences with people, and especially my 3 people, my babies, and you know, and they fell in love with it. I never forced them. They're like, "Mommy, take me to the gym." I'm like, "Let's go." You know what I mean? Like it's been on them. It's never been like, you need to do this, you need to do that, or at the game, like go over there. Like I'm always. I am cheering for every single child on the team. I don't care if you score 1 point, 0 points, 70 points. I am there to support you. Whether you're hurt your foot, I'm still there with the fat head. I'm just there for them emotionally, not for your point production, not to shoot 1,000 shots outside of the offense. I'm there to watch you hoop. I'm there to watch you play for the love of the game. I'm there to watch you serve your love of the game, right? By your energy, your effort, and your focus. So, you know, for me, that's always going to be it. That's always going to be it. I could go on and on. I mean, I coached for a long time. So, you know, those circles of family, you know, and kids inviting me to their weddings and baby showers and all that stuff. Like,
it's
all
amazing.
That matters so much more than X's and O's. Like, I'm so gifted, you know, spiritually, because of moments like that have poured back into my heart and soul. And
it's the sense of community in our game that is so incredible.
It's bigger than hoops. It's bigger than hoops. And people who I love, they know it. They know it every day. And I tell them every day. So for me, that's always going to be what it's about. I love this game so much. The game is the star. I always say that. And it will continue to be my North Star. But I love the game so much. So that's what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving season. So
I am also thankful for this platform, Her Hoop Stats, so that I can have a chance to chop it up with you and everybody on the Her Hoop Stats podcast network. And I would be remiss if I didn't shout out our producer extraordinaire, BMAC, who is amazing. And I'm so glad we were Twitter friends forever, but to be able to have real connectivity through this platform has just been the icing on the cake.
Yeah, no doubt about it. BMAC, man, we love you, producer extraordinaire. We appreciate you for always just staying on task and saying, what time can you guys record? And then just connecting all of us, not just in different time zones. You're in Phoenix, I'm right outside DC. So it's
with technical difficulties that might have been self-inflicted.
Ted Riley versus moment earlier, but we're good. Cindy got her audio activated. But no, it's all love at all times. And I don't know, like, if we'll get on here before Thanksgiving, but we want to wish you and yours a very happy Thanksgiving season with your families. If you can see them in person or not, just really treasure the moments, because that is what it's truly about. And to your point, Cindy, we appreciate you joining us here on the Her Hoop Stats podcast network week after week to talk about what we love and obviously what you love as well. And just to give our perspective and insight on the beautiful game of women's basketball on all levels. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you, BMAC, producer extraordinaire for Cindy Brunson. I'm Christy Winter Scott, and we will see you next time.